Digicams. These little point and shoots from the mid to early 2000s sure are popular right now. Tons of content creators, big and small, are really honing on this being the next big photography trend. But I think there's a massive problem with the mindset around Digicams currently, and even things that aren't the fault of the people promoting them, so let's talk about that. You see, one of the main selling points of old digital cameras are their old school CCD image sensors that can emulate 35mm film pretty well, along with a generally grungy and nostalgic look. 35mm was all the rage a few years back, but the thing is that most of the companies that made film have since ceased production, and the stuff that's left has gotten more and more expensive as the years pass. And this is just the reality with old technology getting popularized again. It was abandoned like 15 years ago. We only post-mortally realize the creative potential in that technology versus newer tech. This is no different with these old digital cameras. Most of these little boxy point and shoots were used by moms who wanted to zoom in on their kids' soccer games or for capturing a summer vacation on a budget. Half of them are either hidden away in storage basements or just broken. They stopped producing them over a decade ago, and these complex mechanical mechanisms simply weren't designed to last into 2023. Think about it this way, if you live in an American city, you'll probably notice that most people don't drive cars older than 20 years. Of course, there's the hand-me-down exception, but even hand-me-downs these days are usually from at least the 2000s. As each year passes, more cars from the 80s and 90s are left to rot in junkyards or are recycled for their metal. I mean, if there's some kind of resurgence for Saturn SL2s in the mid-2030s, I'd wish you luck. They'd be so rare and so limited that they'd suddenly become a status symbol. So I hope you can see how this relates to old Digicams. There aren't that many examples of them left, and half of the ones that aren't up for sale. But supply isn't met without demand. And for the longest time, there wasn't demand for anything. I bought my first Digicam at a garage sale for $5 complete with a battery charger and manuals. But that was in 2017. And 6 years on, these cameras haven't gotten less expensive, but somehow, more. Why? Well, since it's a trend now, there's a demand that supply could never fulfill. There will never be another new PowerShot SD1000 rolling off of Canon's production line, so in return, sellers gouge the fuck out of them. I mean, what the hell gives? I got my example for literally $10, but then this bozo released a video calling it the sleeper camera that you should own. And this is why we can't have nice things. Why, YouTube? Hyping up Digicams is the worst thing you could have possibly done for people actually wanting to get into them. Every model I'd consider desirable or something you'd actually want to shoot with is over $50 right now, which is way more than anybody should be paying for low-end equipment from the 2000s. And look, it's not impossible to find half-decent Digicams for a good price. You just have to look around harder. But now, you have to hope that someone doesn't get to that garage sale camera before you do and sell it on eBay for like $100. These stupid compact digital cameras are doing exactly what 35mm film did. They're no longer being produced, they're old and fragile, and they simply can't meet the demands of stupid trends. I have a theory. This trend is going to die down soon enough, but since the vintage digital camera market was so weak to begin with, these cameras will be straight up impossible to find in the near future, and it's all the fault of social media. In conclusion, this trend sucks. When I was reviewing this little camera back in 2021, my goal was never to drive the prices through the roof or something. I just wanted to share how good a cheap little old point and shoot could be. These days, they're not cheap, so in the end, they're simply old. And hard to justify, honestly. But with that, I know I still love my Digicams, and I hope things change for the better soon. And with that, that has been my thoughts, and this is Calc G Extras, out.